Today, we're going to talk about the things that are derailing your ability to get to your dream life. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Financial Freedom Fast Lane. And you know how it is. The quicker you get to your dream life, the longer you get to live it. And I'm your host, George Acheampong. And today, we're going to talk about the things that are derailing your ability to get to your dream life, because there's roadblocks, there's things that get in our way. And I wanted to bring up some things to your attention that you probably might already know about, but it's going to be an easy framework for you to remember the things that are hindering you from getting to the next level. All right. And each of them start with the letter D, so it should be very easy to remember. All right, so let's get into it. The first one that is preventing you from getting to your dream life is delays, right? Oftentimes we delay things, we put things off, we kick the can down the road because we feel like we'll always have time to do it at some point in the future. But as I always say, the quicker you get to your dream life, the longer you get to live it. So the longer you keep delaying the hard things that you must address to take your life to the next level, all you're doing is delaying your ability to get to your dream life, right? How many of us have things on our calendar that we move from one day to another week, to another month, and sometimes even another year, right? We told ourselves we're going to get it done, but it's always something that comes up. And every time we look at that item, because it's an important item and not an urgent item, we move it around on our calendar to eventually it just not getting done, right? And that delay is preventing you from stepping into that next phase of your best life. Because here's the truth, right? When you have these things that aren't done, this unfinished business, right? It's like walking around with baggage. And until you're willing to unpack those bags, put those things away, and lighten your load, you will not be able to go into the next phase. Look at it like going on a trip, and you don't have the luxury of just paying the overage fee because you have too much stuff in your bag. They say you cannot get on this plane, you cannot get on this ship if you do not remove the things from this bag that need to be removed. That's how you got to look at your level up in life. Until you let go of some things, you're not going to be able to get to where you want to go. What are you willing to give up to go up, right? What are you willing to give up to go up? And you have to be willing to get things done and stop delaying the inevitable of addressing the hard things, whether it's unopened mail, whether it's calling back a bill collector, whether it's finally opening up that investment account, finally getting that estate plan done. What are those things that you keep delaying that are preventing you from ascending to the next level in your life? All right, the second one that starts with the D is distractions, right? Distractions are huge. Distractions are the destruction of your dreams in slow motion. So many of you guys spend so much time doing so many things that are completely irrelevant from the level up of your life, right? Think I'm lying? Just open up your phone, go to your screen time app, and see how much time you're spending on things that could be preventing you from winning at life. You say you don't have time to finish the course. You say you don't have time to read the book. You say you don't have time to work out. You say you don't have time to cook healthy. Well, your screen time is telling you otherwise. And that's just capturing the stuff on your screen. It's not capturing the binge watch TV shows or the other things that you're doing, right? But those distractions are literally the destruction of your dreams in slow motion. It doesn't seem like much when you go down the rabbit hole of Instagram or Twitter or your favorite social media app. But when you look at over time, how much time I'm really allocating to these various distractions, you are literally eroding your ability to get to your dream life day by day by day, right? People say you have 24 hours in a day. No, you don't, because you're going to sleep 6 to 8 hours of those days, right? And yeah, you could not get sleep or whatever, right? And maybe there's seasons where you're sleeping a little bit less than normal, but by and large, that's unsustainable. And the average person is going to need to get at least 6 to 6.5 hours of sleep at minimum, right? So once you subtract that, then you add back in the time you got to work, right? Because the whole reason why we're trying to get financially free is so that we can make that work bucket optional. You can spend more time living and doing what you love. But until then, now you got 6 to 7 hours of sleep. You got 6 to 8 hours of work, right? What you really have is not 24 hours in a day, but you got like that 8 to 10 hours of time to do everything else. And you still got to bathe. You still got to eat. You still got to commute, right? There's still those other things that you just have to do, right? And how much time do you really have to not only build your dream life, but live it, right? And so when you are spending so much time on distractions, right, you really don't have that much time to do what you do best. And it's leading you to believe that you don't have enough time to improve your life, to read, to do personal development, to work out, to spend time with your loved ones, but it's because you're spending too much time being distracted. So I want you to audit your time, right? The value of anything is the amount of life you're willing to trade for. Do you think that the amount of life that you're trading for your distractions equal what the value of that time is? If so, we need to reevaluate some things. If not, we need to reevaluate some things. We need to make sure that your time, your precious finite resource, is being allotted to your most high leverage activities. You have to be willing to let the small bad things happen in order for the big good things to happen. Define what are your glass balls and what are your rubber balls. The rubber balls are the ones that if I drop them, they can bounce back. The glass balls are my non-negotiables. That's family time. That's the high leverage activities in your business. That's taking care of your health, right? Those are things that you can't delegate, you can't automate, right? You have to do it. And you're up here getting distracted and you don't even have enough time to spend time on the main things, much less some of the minor things that would be complementary to your life as well. So it is so important that you mitigate distractions and stay focused on the prize, right? If you have to set up a system for success, set up a system. And all a system is anything that increases the probability of success. So if you're working and you need to leave your phone in another room, do that, right? Like do whatever you have to do. You need to delete Instagram off of your phone or delete a social media app off of your phone, do that so that you can focus. Don't feel bad about the fact that your organic response is to check or scroll. Put the system in place. The road to, I don't want to say this, but there's a quote that's out there that says the road to hell is paved with good intentions, right? Like I know that y'all have good intentions, but at the end of the day, if you don't put the right systems in place, your intentions are going to fall on unfertile ground, right? You have the intention to save more and invest more, but you don't have a system in place. For every intention, there needs to be a system. You want to invest more, set up automated savings or automated transfers. You want to work out, if you still commute to work, put your clothes in the car, right? Make it easy for you to grab your clothes in the morning. Put your clothes in the car the night before, right? Go to the gym before you go home because you know once you get home, you're going to get comfortable. Like put the system in place to be successful and mitigate those distractions. All right, the third D that is preventing you from getting to your dream life is denial, right? Denial. You refuse to face the most brutal facts of your current reality. And because you refuse to face it, you don't have the proper awareness. And because you don't have the proper awareness, you aren't taking intentional action to change it. Step on the scale. Are you overweight? Look in the mirror. Do you look how you want to look? Check your bank account. Are you satisfied? Check your investment account. Check your credit score. What is the reality? And I know some of those things might be painful, but the reality is if you don't have that awareness and you don't know where you are, you're not going to be able to put a plan in place to actually start, right? So it's so important that you audit your time, audit your life, and stop being in denial about your reality, right? This is where I am. I wish I was in a different place, but I'm not. And based upon where I am right now, these are the things I need to do. Instead of waking up in the morning and checking Twitter and Instagram and Threads and Facebook and whatever else you're into, check your bank account, check your investment account, right? Check your goals list. What is it that you said you're going to achieve this year? Are you ahead of schedule, behind schedule, right? Or are you right on target? You need to know, because if you're in denial and you're ignoring those things, you think that you're not addressing them. But I've said this all the time, it will cause a hidden drain on your battery. When you have unfinished business, when you have boxes that you have not checked, it is literally like the same as having a bunch of tabs open on your computer. It's gonna run slower, your battery's gonna die quicker because they're running in the background. Even though you're not using that tab right now, it is taking up space and you're going to drain your battery, right? That is how the human body works as well. You have all these open tabs up here and you wonder why you're stressed out. You wonder why you can't focus. You gotta close those tabs out. Gotta close them out, right? So stop being in denial about where you are. Be honest with yourself. And once you're honest with yourself, put an intentional game plan in place to address those things that you've been denying. All right. Now, this one is a tricky one because I believe that every successful person has to have a little bit of this, right? But ultimately, some people have too much, and that's the reason why they're not getting to their dream life. And that is delusion, right? Some people are delusional. They have no evidence that something is going to work, that they're on track for it to work, right? That it should even be working out in their behalf, right? But they are just doing things with no proof, in delusion. There's no evidence that indicates that this should work or that it will work and that you're doing it. Now, again, as I mentioned, I feel like every successful person has to have a little bit of delusion, a little bit of optimistic delusion. Is that how I want to say it? Optimistic delusion. Sure. Or delusional optimism or something like that. I think that's how you say it. Delusional optimism. Like you have to have some of that, right? In order to do things that have been unheard of. Like I'm sure Steve Jobs, when he said he was going to do certain things, he sounded like a little delusional because no one had any evidence of it being done, right? I'm actually recording on the iPhone right now, but no one had any evidence that what he was trying to do was possible. And as for anybody flying an airplane, right? No one had any evidence before it flew. So I'm not saying that there aren't instances where you have to have a level of delusional optimism, but there still has to be at least a work ethic that matches it. Some people are delusional and they don't even have the work ethic to match. I'm gonna have a 6-pack by summer and you're not working out now or eating right now. That's delusional. Now, if you're putting in the work, even if people don't understand the depth of the work that you're putting in, but you're truly doing it, right? Then yeah, other people might not see your vision or understand exactly what you're doing, but that might make sense, right? You could be betting wrong and it could not go according to plan, but I'm willing to get behind the person that's doing the work and is willing to have their work ethic match whatever it is their belief system is. Even if there isn't a prototype, even if there isn't a prior use case, I can get with that. But for the person who is just trying to manifest and attract everything, but hasn't done any work, that is just straight up delusional. And if that is your perspective and that is your mentality, then you're not going to get what you want in life. You're not going to delay it. You're just going to destroy your chances of ever being able to achieve your dreams. All right, so do an audit, right? And ask yourself, what am I delaying that I could be executing on right now? What am I in denial about? What are my distractions, right? And am I delusional about anything right now? Is it a good delusion, a healthy delusion? Or is it like, there's no evidence, I'm not doing anything towards this, and if I'm being honest with myself, I either need to course correct or I need to like completely wake myself up and start doing the work, because if not, like, this isn't gonna happen, right? Hopefully this was helpful. As you guys know, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Financial Freedom Fast Lane. Freedom is for sale if you're willing to pay the price.